Uh, Good afternoon to everyone. I hope I am audible to everyone. Can anyone respond me in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, thank you so much, Yatiraj. Good afternoon to everyone. Myself, Dr. Pradnya Vankade, in charge of IT department, welcome all my students and teachers from all over the city to this national level online webinar in collaboration with the IQAC Wilson College. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Manoj Ibrahim, IPS officer, as a speaker for today's session to give light on cybercrime and policing dark web. I hope this session will help us to think smartly and understand the criticality of cybercrime. I expect all my participant attention and cooperation throughout the session. You can also relay your queries at the end of this session by either unmute yourself or type your queries in the chat box. With this note, I would like to hand over to Srilata Ratnam for enlightening us with Mr. Manoj Ibrahim achievement. But before that, I would request everyone to stand up for national anthem. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible? Can anyone tell me in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good
Audible.
afternoon.
So, I am Srilata Ratnam, Assistant Professor in Wilson College. Indeed, it is my privilege to introduce Mr. Manoj Abraham, the IPS officer. He also holds the position of Nodal Officer in the Kerala Police Cyber Dome, and he is working for our country since 1994. His contribution towards the country led many citizens of our country to stay safe. A cybersecurity specialist who has worked for integrating technology with policing. He has won numerous national and international awards in the area of cybersecurity, social policing, and traffic schemes. He has been awarded with International Community Policing Award, Significant Achievement Award, Man of the Decade Award, Police Medal for Meritorious Service, Technology Leadership Award. With all these achievements, this afternoon he is here with us to share his experiences and make us understand how to get instinct on cyber crimes. I hope we will learn many things from you, sir. Awaiting for the combination session. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Srilata. Very good afternoon to all of you.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
indeed a pleasure to come once again and speak at this seminar at Wilson College, jointly organized with IQAC, and on a very relevant topic also of cybersecurity, which has now become one of the most important aspect which has now become one of the most important aspect for almost everybody in this world now, because is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, we are in a world where digital technology has become the most crucial element, and it's very essential that we understand what are the challenges in cybersecurity, because the present generation is a generation which has lived in the digital world more than what you actually live in the physical world. And so it's very essential that we understand the principles of cybersecurity and the dangers that exist, because the most crucial element in cybersecurity is cyber awareness, and that's one of the crucial aspects that we concentrate on. As I mentioned earlier, also, we are living in a digital world. We have, if you read the history books, we'll find about the Industrial Revolution, the Agrarian Revolution, etc. But those were revolutions. But what has happened today is the digital revolution, which has changed every aspect of human life. Every aspect means it has touched the basic paradigm of human existence itself, changing the way we do our business, the way we do our transactions, the way we do our webinars, the way we do our study or work. Everything has changed in the digital world, which is for the good, because the digital world has brought in a lot of good things, that everything is available to us on a platter. The services have become improved. It is efficient. It is faster. It is more concentrated. Chances of corruption are less. A lot of advantages are there in the digital world. But with the problems with these digital technology, a lot of problems also have set in, which is typical to the digital world, which we need to understand. But we are standing at the in the year 2022, looking at the future, which is going to be more digital. We can't reimagine the future that is going to come up, but we need to understand that 2022 is a special year after all these pandemics, etc. And what we see in this world is basically, if we look at the future, all these technologies that are coming up are going to are reaching the tipping point, and they're converging also. The convergence is very important. Now we know various technologies like the artificial intelligence, the robotics, the DNA sequencing, the blockchain, a lot of autonomous mobility coming in, the digital wallets, the mobile connected devices, everything. Now, what is happening in the present times is all these technologies are converging into one point. They are reaching the tipping points also, due to which the cost is going to come down. It's going to reach the common man. But the convergence of the technology is what we need to understand. It's going to intertwine in such a way that it's going to change. A lot of integration is going to happen in technology, in services, in most of the things that the public is dealing with on the digital world. And it's going to be disruptive. Now, when you talk of disruptive technology, it's technology that comes and changes the way that you are doing the things now. And that's what is happening now. Earlier times, etc., once technology comes up, suppose a computer comes up or a laptop came up, it took many years to actually change the way that we function or change the way that the digital technology goes around, but not in the present world. Now, when technologies come in, when innovation comes in, it really disrupts the whole system of how we do our business, or how we go about doing our studies, or do a certain transaction. Everything is really changing, and that is the present world. That's what we need to understand in the present world. So technology has come to stay. It is going to change the basic aspect of human. It has already revolutionized the various aspects of human existence, and that is what we need to understand also. Now, cybersecurity is very crucial. When we talk of technology, when we talk of the digital world, a lot of advantages are there, but the most crucial aspect is cybersecurity. Now, this has been ignored over the years because cybersecurity involves some costs, and many of the organizations, many of the government entities, usually our present standard is when we want to cut costs, what we cut costs is basically related to cybersecurity. So cybersecurity has been a concept that has been ignored, but now in the present times, you can't ignore it. It's one of the most important things at a nation level. For the nation's security, it's important. For the organization, it's important. For the individual also, it's very crucial. Now, what is cybersecurity? As you all know, cybersecurity is basically protection of the online services or the online information that is available. Now, when we talk of cybersecurity, we always think it's only protection of digital resources only. No. Cybersecurity encompasses all the security aspects. It includes the physical security, the technical security, the environmental security, because all these security is also important for cybersecurity. So any person who breaks into your, say, college or house can come and put a pen drive and damage your cybersecurity also. So basically, when you talk of cybersecurity, it involves all kinds of encompassing security also, including physical security, which is crucial in the present times. Now, this is just a joke, but it brings out the stark reality of how the digital world or how the frauds in the digital world are increasing. Suppose you organize a webinar and you find that suddenly the registration fee is cancelled, and they say that the registration fee is totally non-refundable. What I want to point out is now these kinds of frauds, these kinds of attacks on cybersecurity is very frequent. It happens every day, every 7 seconds. You have a cyber attack working in the world now, somebody being cheated and money being lost. Every 7 seconds, an attack happens. Now, we are living in the world of the pandemic and the COVID pandemic. Last 2 years, we have been facing the health pandemic. It has been a real devastation to the lives and security of all the people. Many people have lost their lives around the globe. But even greater threat has been due to the cyber threats that have come in with the COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 has become the world's biggest reason for cyber threats. In the last 2 years, with all these scams increasing, it has really eclipsed all the other cyber threats in the past. All the ransomware attacks or whatever you call it, COVID-19 has been one of the most world's biggest reason for cyber attacks. And if you look at the figures also, a lot of malware attacks connected to COVID, a lot of phishing scams, fake news, you name it, all kinds of cyber crimes have come up due to COVID-19. And this is but natural because the COVID-19 was a health pandemic, and due to those restrictions, we find that most of the people gave on to the digital world. The companies had to stop their physical offices. They had to go and work from home. The children had to study from home. All the government entities, the digital transactions, everything increased. And so it's natural that crimes also in the digital world will increase. But all kinds of crimes have increased. And that brings us to the important fact that we need to look at not only the health protocols also, we need to look at the cyber hygiene principles also, which has become very crucial with the COVID-19 factors. Now, looking at 2022, where we are sitting now, what are the threats that are coming up? How is the situation in the future? I just wanted to enlighten you people on what is there, what do we expect in 2022. Now, if you look at 2021, we find that ransomware attack has been the number one kind of attack in 2021, and in 2022 also it's going to continue. Every 11 seconds we had a ransomware attack coming in, and it's expected that every 6 seconds, that is what the prediction is for 2022, every 6 seconds one ransomware attack is taking somewhere in some part of the globe. And this is a very dangerous part because most of these ransomwares have been concentrated on the health industry in 2021, hospitals and diagnostic centers where treatments were happening, which really disrupts the functioning of the hospitals. So ransomware attack is the number one problem expected in 2022 also. And in many cases, these were successful. If you look at the payment system, 43% increase in the ransomware payment was there. This is like a blackmail where the ransomware attack is there and you encrypt your system, and the victim is asked to pay some Bitcoin, money in Bitcoin. And if you don't pay up, your whole system is locked. So if a hospital or an office is locked, they tend to really make the payments, because they believe that if they don't get their system back, the whole system will be devastated and their reputation will go. So you find that a 43% increase in ransomware payment was there in 2021, which builds us again the problem in 2022, because this problem is going to increase, and ransomware remains the number one problem. Now, this has primarily been to the critical industries like the health industries, the educational sector, or the government sector. Now it is going on to the outsourcing services also. 2022, it's expected that many of these IT's outsourcing services also will be attacked by the ransomware software. A lot of vulnerable industries, as I meant, health industries, the vaccine industries, the pharmaceutical industries. Hello. So all these industries also will be affected, and the expectation is that it is spreading to mobiles also. Now you have a lot of ransomware attack coming to mobile phones also, where the individual mobile phone is affected and it's totally locked. You can't use your mobile when the ransomware attack happens, and this has also led to a lot of devastation. So important VIPs, if you actually go and do it, or mobiles that are used for various online services, if somebody gets a ransomware attack there, then it's going to cripple that entire service. And then another trend that is coming up is ransomware as a service. Many people are offering ransomware tools, which are ready-made tools, which you just need to pay some money, and you can use it as a tool, you can purchase it, and you can use it as a service. So that is also available now. It is increasing in the present times. Another problem that is expected to increase in the coming years, and particularly in 2022, is the IoT attacks. That's the connected devices, the internet connected devices. Now we have a lot of IoT devices connected. Our mobile phones is connected to almost everything now. Our television, our cameras, our hard drives, you name it, everything is connected. Now we are living in a connected world also. And so the important part is when you are connected, when your Internet of Things is connected, you have a greater chance of the attacker coming in and attacking you from the least secure device. Now, if your mobile phone is connected to your television and your camera, the attacker just needs to come and attack your television, the smart television, and then through that he can attack into your systems, your computer systems, etc. So IoT attack is another major thing that is coming up in the figures. Also, you find that your set the top box which you use in television, your smart television, your smart watch. Now most of the people have smart watches which is connected, and that's another important element which can be hacked into, and your whole system can be connected. Your printers also. So these are the major threats that are there, because more devices are getting connected. We are living in a world of IoT devices, and so it offers more chances for any attacks to come through also. Now, another important thing is the cloud. Now, most of the information now over any government department or even educational institutions like you or important companies, most of the information is stored in the clouds. And now hackers have turned their attention to attacking the clouds also. We have major cases in the last 2-3 years where various clouds were also attacked. Where many pictures of various individuals, including VIPs, celebrities, were also attacked and taken and put on the darknet for sale. So this is another problem that is going to increase, because many of the information, the data, which is increasing, and we are putting it on the cloud, and clouds are prone to attacks also. And in the year 2021 also, we see almost a 200% increase in all attacks on clouds also. And this is another area that will be under attack in the years to come also. So we need to concentrate on cloud security. Now, another major thing which affects the common man, almost all the individuals, is the phishing crimes, where people are trying to phish information about your credit card, the debit card, the mobile numbers, the Aadhaar cards, etc. And this is done through various means. It can be done through either through calls or SMS or smishing, wishing, phishing, All kinds of crimes are there, but these are the crimes that are the most prevalent now, not only in our country but around the world, where various tools are being utilized, various phishing techniques are being utilized to get your credentials, to steal your data, to steal your financial details, and crimes are increasing helter and skelter. And this is one of the major crimes that have seen 300 to 400% increase around the globe. And a lot of people, even the common man, has lost a lot of money, though the money may be small. But in bigger terms, it's a huge kind of amount that is lost in cybercrime when it comes to phishing. So phishing is very important for the individual, for the organization, so that they don't lose their data, they don't lose their money also. And that is what needs to be understood. Now, another crucial aspect is attack on cryptocurrencies, bitcoins, etc., because these are getting popular. Now, in the country also, with a lot of aspects coming up, cryptocurrency is becoming very popular. A lot of people are indulging in cryptocurrency business, Bitcoin trading, etc. And now these have also been under attack, and these attacks are going to go up when cryptocurrencies get popular. It becomes a popular area for attack for the hackers also, and many Bitcoin companies, exchanges are under attack. A lot of Bitcoins have been stolen. A lot of people put their credentials also on the computer, on the laptops also, and hackers find it easy to attack those systems and steal your Bitcoin credentials, and thus you lose your money also. Very difficult to detect these crimes also, and so it's very essential that if anybody is trading in cryptocurrency, all the do's and don'ts of cybersecurity are followed by them in securing that device also. Then we have the concept of artificial intelligence, and now that's the in thing that is coming up. But a lot of intelligence is being generated by the hackers, by the digital world also, the digital criminal that is there, where he's using artificial intelligence to launch a lot of DOS attacks, DDoS attacks, and using artificial intelligence to attack into your systems also. So that is another thing that we need to really look at. And in the present times, there is a concept with all the companies going with the concept of working from home, and to reduce costs, you have the concept of BYOD. BYOD is bring your own device, where the companies say that you bring your own laptops and you bring your own device and then you work in office. Now that's a typical problem, because many of the people who come with laptops or iPads, etc., they don't have the latest the antivirus systems in place, or they use the device for various purposes. Their device is used by multiple members in their family, and so there are a lot of vulnerability is there in the device. And so when you're using the same device for your office work also, it's very easy for a hacker to get into your system, and through your system into your office system also. So many of the BOID devices are not safe, and that is one concept that is catching up in the companies to reduce the cost. And it's a very unsafe thing, which if you don't follow the principles, then it's going to be a safety threat to your organization itself. So that is another aspect which needs to be concentrated on. You have the insider attacks, when somebody inside the organization itself is aiding your attacks. This generally happens in banks, etc., where the bank employees themselves give away a lot of credentials or assist the hacker in doing it. Or there are different kinds of insider attacks, where the person is doing it either negligently, somebody is doing it, or somebody with a malicious intention is doing it from the inside. There are many professional people who come inside and try to hack into the systems, or hack into the data that is available, or hack into take away your money, etc. So a lot of insider attacks are also there, which is increasing in the present times. And that's another aspect that needs to be concentrated on. And a lot of outdated hardware in a lot of government organizations, that is what is happening. You're using a hardware for a very long time, and that hardware doesn't meet up the present systems also, and your hardware doesn't match up. And because of the outdated hardware, a lot of hackers find it easy to get into your system also. Now, these were some of the current problems or the trends that we expect in 2022. I just wanted to bring it to your notice so that you understand what the present trends are. But now looking at the cybersecurity trends, because that is also very important, that we understand what are the cybersecurity threats and pens that are available. Just before that, discussing some important cases as to just make you understand the magnitude of the problem. Now, everybody thinks cybersecurity is just a small problem connected to your mobile phone or your laptop. No, the limits to what cyber threats can do is needs to be understood also, because you can do anything. Now, this is a famous case of a Stuxnet virus. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. It's one that was done years back. It's a virus that was a digital virus or a computer worm that was used to disrupt the entire the nuclear program in Iran, where through a pen drive, a virus was injected into the Iran nuclear system, where the virus went in and increased the way the centrifugal systems work in the Iran nuclear reactor. And what they did is they actually made the system run faster, by due to which a lot of physical harm was caused to the nuclear reactor. Now you can understand that just a computer worm, it goes inside the computer system, and it actually caused a physical harm, or it damaged the centrifugal system which operates the nuclear reactor in the Iran nuclear facility, due to which the Iran nuclear program was actually relegated or stopped for years together. Two to 3 years it was actually delayed. So that is what a computer virus can do. A small virus with no cost at all. It can cause a lot of physical damages also. This is another case in Turkey, where an oil pipeline, there was an explosion in an oil pipeline, not caused due to a bomb blast or not caused due to any other factor, but just by hacking into the system. What the hackers did is they hacked into the CCTV cameras inside the oil pipeline, which was transporting oil from one place to another. And through the CCTV system, they entered into the oil refinery computer system. And from there, they actually removed the sensors which actually control the oil pressure inside the pipeline. So when they removed the sensors that were there, they increased the pressure inside the oil pipeline. And because the sensors were really removed by the hacking system, the sensors did not say that the pressure inside the pipe was going up. And finally, the pipeline exploded. So a big explosion could be caused just by a computer virus, just by hacking into the system. No bomb, no suicide bomber, nothing. But you can create an explosion also there. And as I mentioned earlier, now with the COVID lockdowns coming up, a lot of such systems, a lot of attacks increased. Nation states, they don't attack through the missiles or through bombs, etc. It is the computer, the weapon that is used is the computer weapon. Even now with the Ukrainian threats, etc. happening, the major things that is being done is through the computer attacks. The digital system is being attacked. There are a lot of DDoS attacks, a lot of hacks happening in Ukraine, which actually is damaging the country much more than what a bomb or a missile can do. So this is the gravity of the problem that we need to understand. And one of the most popular things with all the hackers around the world is attacking the banks, because that is where the money is. Over the years, we find a lot of major attacks on banks. The Ukrainian bank being hacked, 10 million being stolen, the Bangladesh Bank East, Ecuadorian Bank East, and a lot of banks in India also being hacked. Because hackers, that is where all the money is, and you get big money, and that is you can actually fund a lot of illegal activities also by the funds that you're generating. So bank hacks remain one of the most popular threats in this present world also. Now, you need to understand that these cyber weapons are being utilized against the airplanes also. Many of the airplanes through the music system in Europe, in many places, last year also, many airlines were attacked and they were grounded. They attacked the system, and then the airline system of you just can't take off. So that kind of systems are available, and they say that in the future, with the autonomous cars and the autonomous flights also coming up, it will be easier for a hacker to hack into these flights and change the flights or make the planes to come down, to cause accidents. All this is possible just by a cyber weapon, just by a computer system or an internet connection. So these are the threats that are going to come up in the future also. Another interesting crimes that is being utilized is the salami kind of cyber attacks. These are salami cyber attacks means small kinds of crimes, which in aggregation looks big. Now this is in banks, etc. Hackers come in and they transfer, say, 10 rupees from each account holder that is available, say in SBI. Now, when 1 rupee or 10 rupees goes, nobody really notices. So it will get transferred from all the account holders in that bank to one particular account. So even the bank people also don't notice when 1 rupee is transferred, and even we won't notice. If we have a bank account, we also won't notice 1 rupee is being transferred. But the person who's getting it, he will get lakhs and lakhs of rupees. And if it's being done continuously, say once every week or once every month, the person will earn crores and crores of rupees without anybody noticing. So that kind of attacks are also very popular now, particularly with banks and government establishments, salami kind of attacks. So the basic trend is what in the present times and in 2022 and the years to come, the attackers are getting more smarter. Earlier, it was only the rookies that were coming up, or few individuals that were doing. Now you have very trained attackers coming in. Many nation states are actually hiring smart hackers who are coming in. So they are the best in the field. Their knowledge is also their understanding. They are the most smart guys that are available, who are employed by the state to hack into other systems also. So what is happening is the attackers are getting more smarter day by day. You have the crimes, number of crimes increasing. If you look at the figures itself, last year itself, we had a 300 to 400% increase in cyber crimes around the globe, which is a very, very disturbing factor. And then the diversity of cyber attacks also. It is not that you have the same kind of modus coming in every day or every month. You have a new kind of cyber attack coming up. You have new phishing modus coming up. Every time the diversity of cyber attacks is changing to a great extent. You learn about some crime here, but then you have a different kind of cyber attack coming up. So basically looking into the latest type of crimes, what is the thing available in the world, the cyber attacks are also changing, the nature is changing, the modus is changing. So we have a lot of different kinds of cyber attacks coming up, which is a problem for the law enforcement agency, because the moment they understand, they build a system for that. They come, they train their staff, and they find that the nature of the cybercrime has totally changed. So that is a very important aspect in these cyber attacks, that the diversity of cyber attacks is too much now, and it's continuously changing. And we have a very targeted kind of attacks also, the spear phishing attacks. Somebody who's ready to wait for months together to attack you. Suppose you are a bank or you are a important government entity. People are ready to wait into your system or target you for months together, studying your social media pattern, your work pattern, how you are using your devices, etc. So very targeted attacks, which somebody is ready to wait for months together. That is also another new trend that is coming up. Very targeted spear phishing attacks coming up. Now, data remains, of course, one of the major areas of thefts, because data is money, and data is being stolen left and right. Even the biggest multinational companies, including Facebook or LinkedIn, Sony Incorporated, you name it, everybody has been attacked and data has been stolen. Most of the credit card, debit card details have been stolen. And not only data theft, data manipulation is also now the new trend, where they change the data and your whole reputation goes away. Your data is, they hack into your system and change your data, and somebody comes in and finds that your data is changed also. So the whole reputation of that company or organization is destroyed. So that is the new trend in digital crimes that is coming up. So these were the basic trends I just wanted to highlight. And as in the topic, it was one of the major things that everybody should be aware of is the darknet. Now, this darknet is a internet shadow world. It has a good thing, it has a good part, it has a bad part also, like any other thing in this world. The good part is a lot of information, a lot of things that you put in the library or the government websites is available in the dark web. But there is a bad part also, which is called the dark web, as you call it, which is where the internet of crime is. Like you have the underworld of crime in the physical world. Darknet is the underworld of crime in the internet world. And of course, as I mentioned, the deep web is there, which is also anonymous, where you have a lot of academic information that you find in the libraries or in the universities, and a lot of government resources. But below that is the dark web, where all the crimes, where anonymously you can go, a lot of illegal information is available, all kinds of crimes are available, all kinds of tools are available, where you can be anonymous, where your identity will not be relieved. Because you are using specialized Tor encrypted tools and sites, and then you can trade in all these illegal activities. Now, in the understanding the Tor, it is basically you're using Tor or the Onion router, which hides your IP address. If you're using a particular IP address, if you use Tor, when it reaches the destination, it's a totally different IP address that is revealed. So nobody can really understand who is actually accessing those sites. So that is the encryption is the factor which helps that individual, and the criminal has actually used Tor to a great extent in the darknet. And in the darknet, you have all kinds of things now. You have arms being sold, you have drugs being sold, you have all kinds of porn material, particularly CSAM material or child porn material. You have a lot of debit card, credit card details also available. You have assassination teams, you have hacking tools on sale, etc. Like you have in the normal world where you are going to Amazon or Myntra, you can get all these illegal things also on sale in the darknet, and by paying bitcoins, you can actually purchase it, and it will be sent to your postal address by couriers also. So that is the advantage that these hackers find. This is a famous market, Silk Road. Of course, the Silk Road was taken down by US authorities after a few years of investigation. But popular sites like this, which almost looks similar to the Amazon site, where you can find a lot of drugs or arms or anything, just by the payment of bitcoins, you can purchase it from there. Now, this darknet offers, you should be aware of the darknet, because these are things that are available in the internet, which a lot of a lot of things are available in the darknet, which a lot of intelligence can be collected by different agencies. Of course, the police department, a lot of organizations also go to the darknet and get a lot of information that is useful for their organizations also. But there are a lot of technical challenges in finding out the culprit on the darknet, because as I mentioned earlier, they use the Tor, they use a lot of encryptions, by which it becomes almost impossible for the law enforcement or anybody to find out who is the real person behind the one accessing the dark web. So that is the technical challenge that is there. A lot of Indian specific problems are there. We find that a lot of debit card, credit card details of a lot of individuals are available on the darknet. Now the hackers hack into the banking systems, shopping systems, etc. And all those details of the debit credit cards are available on the darknet for sale. You can actually go and purchase these details. And that is how many people call us with all the details that is available. And they just want our OTP from us. So all these details are available on the darknet for sale. You have a lot of CSAM material, that is the child sexual exploitative material, or what you call child porn, available on sale on the darknet. A lot of radicalization material is available, where the tools are available for sale there. A lot of drugs, all kinds of drugs are available. You can go and purchase using bitcoins. A lot of fake documents, including passports, Aadhaar cards, driving license. You want to get a fake passport, you can go to the darknet. You can purchase it there. Of course, a lot of fake sites are also there, where they fool you also. But a lot of genuine sites are there, which actually supply a lot of fake documents. And then hacking tools, ransomware tools are available on sale. That also you get on the darknet. Now, this is a major problem which the darknet has been a problem for the law enforcement for many countries, and there has been talks in the past that we should get rid of the dark web altogether. That's a good thing, but it will not happen, because a lot of good things are also there. And when the demand is there, always the supply will come up. It is not possible for a law enforcement agency or for a country to take it away as such. So we need to really understand the dangers that are there, and we need to really work together to ensure that the dark web is safe. We are safe from the dark web. Our resources, our credentials are not being hacked into and put on the dark web. So we need to be aware of this factor also. And particularly for the law enforcement, it is one of the most important things that we need to look at. So those were the dangers that are there in the present world, which we all need to be aware of, because that is these are the threats that we need to understand in cybersecurity. And coming to the cybersecurity principles, now with those threats, you must have understood that's a very complicated problem out there. And with the digital world becoming more global, and with the country borders becoming meaningless, now it's a world without borders. It's very important that we secure ourselves, because we can't prevent and detect cyber crimes, which is almost impossible with the world being the play field and with all these encryptions coming up. So what we can do is the most important part is securing ourselves, securing the resources within our organizations, our educational institutions, our nation states. What we need to secure ourselves in every way, from the nation to the individual. Everybody needs to secure ourselves. And that is the most important thing that cybersecurity offers. Now, security, when we come to cybersecurity, it is different kinds of security. Two important principles are layered security and integrated security. Now, many people advocate the fact that layered security is good, where you put up many layers of security. You put up a firewall, you put up a software system, you put up hardware systems of security. You make available water, you put different layers of security, which can be one of the systems. So even if one layer is breached, the other layer will protect you. Now, another concept is there where integrated security is there, where you put in all the security systems that are integrated. Because if you put layered security, one layer will not talk to the other layer, and that is not a correct principle. So you put in an integrated security where your firewall is talking to your software is talking to your hardware, everything is integrated. Now, both these security principles have their own advantages, disadvantages, and it's basically based on the organization that you can really look at layered and integrated security. Though in the present sense, they say that it is better to have an integrated security system, which is more secure in the cyber world. And then the individual. The individual is the most important factor, whether it's individual working with his mobile or any individual within the organization. Now, if you look at the cyber breaches, the reasons for cyber breaches, you will find that in the world, 93% of all the cyber attacks that have taken place, or the cyber breaches that have taken place, is due to the individual error that has happened. Somebody has not followed those do's and don'ts, or they have been that weak factor that has allowed the hacker to come in. If you open up an email attachment that is not verified, or if you click on a link and allow a malware to come in, that is where the individual fails. So it's very important that we make the individual aware. Anybody working inside your organization or in a government entity, all the people who are working in the organization, or for the individual who is using your mobile phone or your laptop, or your student in a particular college or educational institution. For everybody, you need to follow your cybersecurity principles, because if you don't follow it, the hacker can get into your system, and through your system into your educational institution, into your organization, into your government entity. For me, if they come into my system, they can actually get into the police system also. So it's very important that the individual is aware, individual knows about what are the latest crimes, what are the latest modus, what are the weaknesses available. So he needs to be very aware of what are the principles of cybersecurity, and he needs to follow those principles to ensure that cybersecurity is maintained. As I mentioned earlier, cloud security has become very important now, because most of the people, individuals, we also put most of our photographs, our important files, etc. on the cloud. Many organizations function, their data is completely on the cloud. Even now in government entities also, most of our Aadhaar data, many of our data are on the cloud. And so cloud security is also a very important concept. We need to ensure that the clouds are safe, because if the cloud is attacked, all these confidential information will go to the hackers. So that is another important aspect which we need to concentrate on. And then we need to understand that cybersecurity is always a cat and mouse game. Now, cat and mouse, because as I mentioned earlier also, the technology is changing, the problems are changing, the tools are changing, the hardware is changing, the software is changing, and every time new crimes are coming up, new diversity is coming up, new tools are coming up. So it's very essential that the cybersecurity tools are also adapt to these changing technology. So that is why the patches are important, the software updates are important. We need to keep on updating our system. We can't rest on the fact that I have put in a cybersecurity system in place and now I'll rest. No, it has to be a continuous process, because as I mentioned, the technology is changing, so the modus of cyber crimes is also changing. So our cybersecurity principles also have to be in tune with this changing technology also. So that is also very important in the present times. And then it's very important to have a proper backup management plan, because even if we put in all the cybersecurity principles, even if we put the best of the hardware, the software, the virus, the antiviral softwares, etc., still there is always a possibility to be hacked, because there is no perfect world in cybersecurity. So there is always a possibility of somebody hacking into your system. So you need to have a proper backup management plan. You need to have systems in place which can back up your existing data, so that you don't lose. Even if you are hacked, you can actually go into your factory settings and then come back, use your backup data and come online again. So that is very important, that you have a proper backup management plan also for everybody, for individual down up to an organization also. Then training the CISOs. Now that is another important aspect which we need to understand, that every organization needs to have a CISO or a specialized cyber security expert in the organization. This is very crucial now for every organization, every institution. This was as a concept ignored because nobody concentrated on cyber security, and they thought it's a worthless expenditure. But now in the present times, it's very essential that you have a trained person who guides you, who gives you the particular knowledge of how you need to secure your system. Even for an educational institution, you need to have experts in cyber security who can guide your digital systems and ensure that they are safe. And then, of course, it has to be, the whole system has to be secure. You can't have a weak system anywhere, because with your connected organizations, with each system connected, you can't have even a weak link, because the hacker will be looking at that weak link or that particular mobile or that particular laptop to get into your system. The human element is also another big system. So you need to train him, because through the individual, anybody can come in inside your organization. So that is also important. And of course, cyber expenditure, as I mentioned, cyber security is a very important aspect now. It takes money to ensure that your systems are safe. So we need to put that important budget part in cyber expenditure also, to ensure that your systems are safe. You're using the latest systems. You're putting up the latest patches also. You're using the latest technology that is available. So every organization needs to ensure that that part of budget is really kept apart for cyber security also. So these were the important things I just wanted to briefly bring to your notice in the cybersecurity arena, particularly in 2022. As I mentioned, it's a very crucial year because with the pandemic, we have gone totally digital in every aspect of human life. And because of the pandemic, we had to do it at an accelerated pace. Most of the organizations, they couldn't look at all these cybersecurity principles. They had to really go work from home or study from home. Everything had to be done at a very accelerated pace. And all the cybersecurity principles could not be followed. And so it's very important that we understand the importance of cybersecurity. Cyber threats are very live. It's increasing. The complexity of cyber threats is increasing day by day. And so it's very important that we concentrate on cybersecurity, not only at the organizational level, not only at the nation state level, but even at the individual level. We need to look at cybersecurity principles. We need to follow those cyber hygiene principles. We need to wash our cyber hands. We need to follow the do's and don'ts and ensure that our cyber systems are safe. So at the individual level, if you are safe, then the organizational level and at the nation state level also, we can be safe. So that is one of the messages. Be ready, be aware of all these cybersecurity principles, and be safe on the digital world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we have a question in the chat box. Is it legal to visit the dark web?
Yeah, basically, as I mentioned, the dark web is not all that bad. Not everything in the dark web is bad. As I told you, some parts of the digital world, when you talk of dark web, a major part is the deep web. Deep web is the good part of the whole thing, where, as I mentioned, a lot of libraries, the information that is available in the libraries, lot of government data that is available about Aadhaar, about various things that is available in the deep web. A lot of good things are also available. A lot of organizations the US Secret Service use the deep web, the dark web, to actually pass on confidential information also. A lot of human rights activists in many countries use the deep web also. So there is nothing wrong in going to the deep web. It is through the encryptions you can actually go. A lot of good things are also available. But the major thing, because of this encryption, a lot of criminals also utilize it for all these selling of these contraband items also. And that is what makes it dangerous. So if you are going and looking at these sites, then it's going to be illegal. Like you are going to a wrong place. Now you go to in the physical world, you go to a place which is selling guns. So it is an illegal part as such. So there are many things available in the market, but if you go to that particular shop, it's illegal. Similar way, it's not purely illegal to go to the deep web, but if you are going and doing the wrong thing, it's illegal.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. So first of all, thank you for sharing such valuable information with us, and you represented everything very beautifully. So I'm Vinay Bohra. I'm a cybercrime investigator, a cybersecurity expert, and consultant, and currently working on my new startup which deals with anti-piracy. So coming to the main topic of this workshop and the mysterious topic that is about the dark web. I wanted to know about, we all know the surface net, which is only the 4% of the internet, but I wanted to know about the very deepest and the bottom layer, which is the Mariana Web. Does Mariana Web actually exist or is just a rumor?
It actually exists, yes. Many of the government agencies, the Interpol, are behind that. But as I mentioned, due to the inbuilt encryptions and due to the inbuilt system of how it is made, it is very difficult to trace. Actually, suppose I have something working in the dark web. If I use the correct tools and techniques, it's almost impossible for anybody to even find out which country I'm operating from.
Yep.
So somebody may be operating, somebody may be looking at it. So even now, many government agencies are looking into all these agencies, not even knowing whether it's operating from my country or some other country or some part of the globe. So that is how the whole thing is made. So the dark web is a very mysterious world. A lot of things are happening. A lot of even assassination teams now. Now in the North America, people are looking for assassination teams that have been hired on the dark web. So that kind of things are also happening. Very difficult to detect. So
but my question is, the dark web, that Mariana Web comes under the pre-match system, and pre-match system where all the government bodies, that confidential conversation is going on. It's very difficult. It's like next to impossible for the normal people to use that to get access to pre-match system. So how people get into Mariana Web, which is under the pre-match system?
Yeah, many of the systems, we don't know who is operating in many of these sites. Many of the nation players also are there. So you don't know many of these countries. We know now these many countries use cyber weapons against other countries also. So there are many nation state players also inside that. That's how they get access to these systems also. Now we know many rogue countries also using these systems. Now the present war conditions also, many countries that are maybe in the open world, they are very good countries, but they will be using these systems to come in and damage the other systems. So many nation players are also involved. So that's very difficult. We have not really gone into that. That's why I can't really go into the details of all those things. Many things are confidential also, which I can't speak out in such forums also.
Yeah, in live session you can't speak. Thank you.
So one more question is there. What about DigiLocker app? We store our documents in it. Is it safe?
It is safe in the sense that the government has put in all the cybersecurity systems in place, and in the digital world, the government has a very it's a government platform where all the cybersecurity principles have been taken care of. But as I mentioned, in the digital world, nothing is safe. So even the best of systems have been hacked into, including the Pentagon. So nothing you can't say that it's perfectly safe, but government has put in all the principles in place. It's a very secure system, and so we can be safe. We can say that we are currently safe to put any of our documents there.
Okay, so another question is like how to get into cybersecurity, any program, any training or any internship?
We run a program under Cyberdome for internship, etc. We are digital. There's a if you go to the Cyberdome website, you will find the details of how we operate. We have a few programs running under cybersecurity. We even have a lot of hackathons, etc., which we encourage students to come, hackers to come and build solutions for us. But now I think many of the universities have also started cybersecurity as one of the very close subjects now. Even Government of India has encouraged these systems to a great extent because we are short of cybersecurity enthusiasts also. So many universities have now started, and cybersecurity will be very sort of the subject, I think, in all the universities now in the coming days. That's what our hope is.
Sir, also the students are requesting, can you please send the link of a Cyberdome?
Okay, if you just, I think, type Kerala Police Cyberdome, you'll get it. Kerala Police Cyberdome.
Okay.
You'll get it.
Any other question?
Anam, I have a question, Anam. Dr. Michelle Philip.
Yes, ma'am. Carry
Yes.
on.
Mr. Manoj Abraham, congratulations and for a fantastic presentation. I especially loved your visuals. I'm Dr. Michelle Philip, head of the English department. And my question to you is because we have students from the arts section, are there opportunities for students? Is it possible for students who graduate in English literature or history or economics to also get trained in, we have this thing which they call ethical hacking? So, are there openings for students like us?
Yeah. Basically, I think anybody can come into cybersecurity. Ethical
Okay.
hackers course is available.
Yes.
Even I am basically a economics postgraduate, but I do a lot of cybersecurity.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
cybersecurity is essential for everybody, and now basic beginners course are available. This ethical hackers course is available, which of course you need to have a little bit of interest, a bit of technicality is there. But if
Yes.
you have the interest, you can really learn it, and it's I encourage everybody. Basically, cybersecurity is important for everybody now. And so the basic know-how is very important for every individual now, and more so in the future. So I encourage everybody that you should take up such a course, which are available now online, offline, everywhere it's available.
Okay.
And we should be basically aware of these factors.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I wanted to just know, can we get internships in this cybersecurity or ethical hacking? Like we have courses where students want internship to do. So can we have like or from where we can do?
Ma'am, sorry. Actually, there was an interruption from your end. Can you please repeat the question or you can relate in a chat box?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, now you are audible.
Yes. Good afternoon.
I was just asking that any internship is there in cybersecurity or any other thing, because there are courses which says last semester only internship in this particular subject. So they literally search, but hardly they get any internship. So can you please suggest any site or any place where they can get internships?
So actually the ma'am question is like we don't have a proper university for a cyber crime as far as Mumbai is concerned. So also like they are the courses, the certification courses, but they did not give the internship to the students. So in that case, what we have to do?
Yeah, I think what we have done in Kerala is we have actually tied up with a lot of universities. We are tied up to around 7 universities where we give this internship. I don't know in Mumbai how it is. I will have to check with my counterparts, but I think it will come up in the future because the way it is growing now, the government of India, the digitalization, digital India principle itself is to open a lot of courses for cybersecurity, a lot of opportunities for having such internships also. It's a stated policy of government of India to train a lot of CISOs in cybersecurity. So I think it is bound to come. And the law enforcement agencies in a few places, of course, we have done it. But in other places also, I think it's coming up. That's what I understand, where a lot of organizations, police organizations, also understanding the need for public-private participation in cybersecurity, are opening up a lot of opportunities for cyber training, free cyber training. The government of India has started a IC4 where they train now, of course, in the online arena. And I think once the pandemic goes, they may come offline also. So I think opportunities are coming up. I think in the future, maybe it will open to a greater extent.
Okay, sir. So one more question: is there is any specific certificate which is needed to get into cybersecurity in police department?
Cybersecurity, no. Basically, till now, we take officers with the general qualification and then we train them. But now in the future, I think cybersecurity specialists, etc., are being taken in a few states like UP, etc. They have started taking people who have a background, at least a diploma or at least a degree in computer science, who are taken as technical police officers. So few states are starting. I think in many of the states it will start because with the complexity of digital world getting more and more technical and cyber crimes also becoming more complicated, I am sure that this is going to come up in all the states where we'll have technical police officers to handle these technical crimes.
Okay. Any other questions? No?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think so we are done. So I'll give them my vote of thanks. I would like to thank Wilson College Principal Ma'am Dr. Anna Pratima Nikhalje and Wilson College IT Department for conducting the national level webinar on cybersecurity and policing the dark web. On behalf of Wilson College, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to Sir Manoj Abraham for enlightening us on this topic in spite of his busy schedule. I hope after this acquainted sessions on cybersecurity, dark web, cyber terrorism, everyone is going to think before clicking on internet and will take all the precautionary steps to safeguard themselves from cyber attacks. I would also like to thank all the participants for attending the webinar, and I request everyone to please fill the feedback link which is right there in your chat box. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for the excellent session.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Really, it was superb session. You gave lots of example, and there were some example which were not known to us. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, we can call off the meeting. Thank you so much, everyone. for their participation in this session. Thank you so much.